Aita because my grandmother put a property in my name, and now my mom and her siblings want it. Hi all, so my mom is making me feel like a giant piece of shit and is calling me a thief, but I don't think I'm in the wrong here. Years ago, about 10 now, my grandmother put a small property in my name. It had 3 trailer homes on it, and all she asked was that my mom and her sister and brother could live there rent-free until the end of their days. Because of shady neighbors and circumstances beyond my control, the city told us the property was too small for 3 trailers, and we were forced to remove one. My mother and I have been living in one, while my uncle has been living in the other. My aunt wasn't a concern for a while, because she was serving time in jail, and when she got out, she got a boyfriend and lived with him. She is currently residing in a small apartment paid for, with GoVT assistance. My mom and all her siblings are 65 plus. Lately, Grandma has been showing severe signs of dementia. She's 90 and will be 91 this year. My mom and her siblings have been talking, and they've come to the conclusion I should divide this already tiny piece of property into 3 and give them each a piece. She is under the delusion that because her sister's piece wouldn't technically be part of the whole property, that her sister would then have a right to put a trailer on it. I tried explaining to her multiple times that our property barely has enough square footage to be allowed 1 trailer, and that we were lucky the city even let us keep 2 on it. She won't listen. She believes she's right and that her little plan will work. I finally put my foot down and said straight out that Grandma put the property in my name, under the condition that her and her siblings would live there rent-free. Her sister, my aunt, could very easily move in with their brother, my uncle, now that his freeloading drug-dealing son is in jail. Again. I told her I would not be dividing the property into 3 useless parcels. I will not be putting a third under her brother's name because he's a drugged-out alcoholic who only plans on selling it. She insisted he won't, but his son had told me before how his dad is waiting for Grandma to croak so he can sell his property already. She thinks her brother truly wants to live there and be his own landowner, but the reality is, he is heavily misogynistic and doesn't believe any of us women would be able to negotiate a price that he thinks the property is worth. Then there is my Anne, my mother's sister. She has spent over half her life in jail. My mother had to raise my 2 cousins because their mother was always in jail. This woman has literally sold out her own son in a courtroom to shorten her sentence to 5 years at the cost of giving him 10. Her brain is so fried from drugs, she can't even keep days straight. This woman has used drugs to escape reality every day of her life, and therefore has the problem-solving skills of a 1-year-old. She consistently goes for whatever makes her feel good instead of taking responsibility for her life. She has never worked a day in her life, and has run scams and mooched off of others for her entire existence. My mother thinks giving them their own property is a great idea and wants to own the property that our trailer is sitting on. Because I told her no, she's now crying and wailing that I'm a thief, and that Grandma never should have put the property in my name, and that I'm stealing her and her siblings' legacy. And I'm like, I've helped this woman claw her way out of heavy debt. I helped her get a car. I give her $800 a fucking month to help with groceries and bills. I pay for streaming services I don't even use to keep her entertained. This woman stopped working when she was 40 years old because of fibromyalgia, which, fine, whatever. Except I've worked with people 60 plus with the same condition, except they kept trying and found something they could do for a little bit of extra cash. My entire adult life has been wasted on supporting this lazy woman and working to death to try and keep her happy when I could have gone out and started my own life. My mother is too disillusioned with how she thinks the world is and doesn't believe rent is as bad as it is and that my giving her $800 is nothing. This property is the only thing keeping me from drowning in debt and having a decent place to live, and she treats it like it's nothing. She's furious with me and hates me right now and keeps calling me a thief, and I can't take it. I'm pretty adamant about not selling or dividing the property, but I wonder if I should cancel all her streaming services and take my $800 and go find somewhere else to live. Her sister could have my room, and then everyone could have a place to live until they die, and it could all be very far away from me. Let her see how easy it is to live without me. Also, the reason her sister doesn't live with us or her brother is because my aunt is a terrible hoarder, and living with her is just asking for issues and stuff to start piling up. Sorry for the word vomit. Update. Wow, this got a lot more engagement than I thought it would. Just to clarify some things, the property is already in my name. I have the deed and have had it for about 10 years now. There's nothing in writing with my grandma about letting everyone live there, just a verbal request wish that I'm trying to honor. That being said, after reading the replies and speaking with my brother, the one person in my family that's sane but lives in another country, I think the best course of action is to just keep the property in my name and pay the taxes, but move elsewhere, anywhere. My mom is already on disability and such, but I'll be informing her that she'll need to find a part-time job if she wants to keep her streaming services and pay for water, charge sewage, gas, phone, internet, and garbage services. It breaks my heart to make life harder for my mom, but I've wasted what should have been the best years of my life trying to support her and make her happy. Looking back at everything, I can't believe she'd stop working around 40 and expect her children to support her. I'd never wish that on my kids if I ever get the chance to have any now. As for the trailers, the one my uncle is living in will have to be torn down if I ever want it removed from the property. Due to a grease fire a few years ago, it's not structurally sound enough to be removed and transported to another property. It was repaired enough to be safe to live in, but the frame isn't in any condition to be transported down the road. The trailer my mom and I have been living in is in relatively good shape, although I was saving up for a new roof. But I guess if she really feels it's unfair for her sister to live in an apartment, then she can move in with her once I move out. It's also worth noting that twice before, my aunt lived in trailers my grandma had put on the property in the past and trashed both so thoroughly each time before being arrested that grandma had to have them torn down and removed. That's sort of what gave the neighbors' arguments fuel for their petition to the city to not let us have a third trailer on the property. That being said, living with my mom on the property with my mom was supposed to be a way of helping me save money, but now I see living with her has always just been a waste, especially since she doesn't seem to appreciate it.